Alrighty, so I have started the process. 20 pounds of pinto beans, and this is how I store them. All I do, put a date on it, 8/7/22. I am doing 4 cups. If I fill this bowl up to this ring, it's 4 cups plus like 10 beans. I measured it out. I have these ready to go. This bag is one of the cheaper mainstays. This bag should say right on it, Food Saver. These are a little bit more expensive. Whenever I do any meat, I will use a Food Saver over these because you have a tendency to get leakers with the mainstays. What I mean by leakers, for some reason, over time, they will start letting air in. And I'm not going to lose an elk or a deer or something like that because I was a cheap bastard and used a shitty bag. What I am doing on these, and the only reason I tried the mainstay, is because I don't know if that will show up. This top seal right here leaked. I was able to pull it apart, and then I tried resealing it, and I got a good seal. So this is the only bag I'm going to use. Right here's my brand new roll of Food Savers. And so I will retape this one. I don't know what the hell I'm going to use that for. I honestly don't. I just do not know. Another way you could do this, if you have a bunch of old canning jars, you have to make sure that you have the wide mouth. What you do is you put whatever you want in this, and you use the jar saver. Now, as long as you get a good seal, then it will pull the air out, and there you could have a jar of beans. I mean, you could load your cupboards with jars of beans. I used to do nacho cheese like that when the kids were little, and just put it on the shelf. All I was doing was taking it out of a big can and putting it into jars. That way we didn't have a can molding because we hadn't used it. I'll show you the difference. Here is a smallmouth, and you do not get a seal at all. That's just the way that works. I don't believe I have 2 of these, and both of them are pretty much, I believe, for the wide mouth jars. But I really like that handy little tool right there. It has a hose, and you put one end right here, put the other end right there, and then all you have to do is lock the lid, push the button, and it will suck the air out and seal the lid. I think that is pretty handy in some instances. I just don't do enough to really do that anymore. The reason I have 2 of them is because I had a Food Saver, and then it just, I think when they made these, they made a high altitude and a low altitude, and the first one I had was a low altitude because it will work great in some places, but up here in the higher elevation, it just doesn't work. So anyway, for long-term storage, it is a hell of a lot of work, but what you gonna do? So I figure I'll do 20 pounds today, and whenever I decide, I will do another 20 pounds, another 20 pounds, because I really am not that devoted to knock out. I think what I will end up with is 160 pounds. Maybe 140 after I get done delivering and all of that, but I'm not going to sit here and vacuum pack that many all in one crack. So anyway, that's just the way that I do a lot of long-term storage. Your biggest enemy is oxygen, and as you can see, that is like a brick. So there's no oxygen in it. If you was worried, you could throw a hand warmer in it. Hand warmers are basically oxygen absorbers. I figure if you're going to do that, why not just use Ziploc bags? And plus, I'm not sure what the chemical reaction is. I don't know if it distorts flavor or anything like that. So I just never got into the oxygen absorber thing. But anyhow, that is pretty much what I'm doing. Doing fajitas tonight. I got 2 hanging tenders marinating, and so I figure I'm going to do 20 pounds, and then I'm going to shit, excuse me. Once I get them done, then I'll do another 20 pounds another time. But it just kind of is what it is, and it's just the way that I do it. Alright, later. Alright, so that 20-pound bag is done. And at about 4 cups, I got 9 bags. So I think what I would do is in one of my Anasazi 20s, I will do the exact same thing. 2 of these I ended up with about 5 cups in, which isn't a big deal. But what I'm thinking is I want to I'm thinking about this. A person would probably want to go a smaller quantity, like maybe, meal packages. What I do when I make ham and beans or chili is I do 2 cups Anasazi, 1 cup of pinto beans. And I do that chili, ham and beans, whatever I'm cooking that I use a hard bean. So I would end up with some open beans, and I'm not sure. I mean, you're going to use them. It's not like it's a big deal, but for storage, I can see hindsight coming back. I've just never had this many beans on hand. And so I kind of was thinking 4 cups. I think a 1-pound bag is 2 cups of beans if you go into a store and buy it. So if I was going to do these in 4 cups like I did, I would probably be better off to do 3 cups Anasazi, 2 cups pinto, because I like the Anasazi flavor. I like pinto beans too, but I just like that Anasazi flavor a little bit more. It just seems to have its own unique flavor. So anyway, that is pretty much what you get out of 20 pounds doing it 4 cups to a bag. So, I mean, it really, a person thinks, oh my God, you have all this. But when it comes down to when it comes down to it. And it all depends on what you are trying to prepare for. I kind of figured this fall everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket, and a pot of beans is a hell of a lot better than a belly button scratching on a backbone. So anyhow, that's what I got out of that 20, and I'll probably improvise it. So I will kind of keep you posted, maybe not, I don't know. Alright, later.